Hello everyone, it's Patti Behan. Thank you for tuning in today. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this great mixed media background, and we'll be using some Distress Resist Spray, alcohol ink, a stencil, and some alcohol ink Yupo paper. I'd like to take a second and remind you to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a thing. And also make sure you stay to the end because I'm going to show you a great way to keep your Distress Resist Spray from clogging. So let's get into it. To begin, I have my piece of Yupo paper and I'm using a 5x7 sheet, but I've cut it down to card size. And I have an alcohol ink applicator tool with felt, and I have Chronicle, Wilderness, Smudge, and Butterscotch alcohol inks. So to begin, I'm just going to open up my bottle of ink here and put a few dots onto the felt. And then I'll take my next color. Again, this is Chronicle. And I'll add some more drops like in between. And then next we'll take the smudge and repeat the same. We'll put a few dots of ink. And then just to add a little more variation, we're going to add the butterscotch. Another few drops here, or maybe a little more in between all the different colors. And then all you do is just pounce the applicator tool onto the Yupo, and you can turn it around and twist it until you have the whole background covered. And you can see the ink is still a little wet and it's moving, and it's adding some nice variation to the background. Okay, and then I think I want to get that little white spot over there. I want the whole background to be covered. Okay, I'm just watching the ink move a little bit and adding a little more to the places I feel it needs it. And then just letting the ink sort of dry a little bit before we move on to the next step. And let me bring it up so you can see it. And it looks good. And I'll start to move all of this away so we can go on to the next step. And I'm going to bring out my small Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station, and it's covered with a craft sheet. And then I'm going to use the Tim Holtz by Stampers Anonymous Deco Feather stencil. And I'll use my magnets to hold the stencil down. I'm just trying to center it a little bit. And while I'm doing this, I wanted to mention that this is a great technique to use on those alcohol ink backgrounds that you saved but you really weren't happy with. It's a great way to transform them. Just wait till you see how this turns out. It's amazing. Okay, I think that's good. And I'm going to get my Distress Resist Spray. And instead of spraying it directly onto the stencil, what I'm going to do is spray it onto my craft sheet on the side here. And then I'm going to use a mini blending tool with foam. Let me go ahead and grab that here. And then I'm going to dab the tool into the resist spray and then put it through the stencil this way. I feel like you have more control doing it this way rather than spraying directly on the stencil, and you get a better coverage of the spray. And it's nice and even. So you keep doing this until all the stencil is covered. And then I'm going to lift it up gently just to make sure I got everything. Take a little peek here before I take it off. And I think that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the stencil, and make sure you rinse off your stencil right away. I have a container of water here that I'm going to stick it in so we can continue working, and then we'll clean the stencil later. The resist spray is kind of like an adhesive, so you want to make sure you clean your stencil and any tools that you use with it right away. And then I'm wiping off the nozzle, and I'm going to take out the nozzle, and I'm also going to put that in my container of water. And in a bit, I'm going to show you how we clean out the nozzle. This way it'll stop your sprayer from getting clogged. And I'll try to show you this here in the camera. It looks like it turned out pretty well. Now what we're going to do is let this dry, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to finish this up. Okay, now I have my splat box here, a piece of paper towel on the bottom of it, and I put my background so that it's leaning up against the box. And then I'm going to take some 91% alcohol that I have in a spray bottle here, and then I'm just going to spray the background. And as you can see, what's happening is the places where there's no resist ink, the ink is coming off the background. Now we don't want to make it totally come off, so we just want to spray enough to have most of it come off. And then I'm just using the paper towel to get off that excess that's collecting at the bottom. And now I have a hair dryer, not a heat gun, and I'm just drying this because I want the ink to stay put. I don't want any more of the ink to go away. And also this kind of reactivates the resist spray and it gets it wet again. So I just want to use the hair dryer to dry it. If not fully, at least mostly dry at this point. I just need to do this a little bit longer. Okay, I think that's good. Let me hold it up one more time here. And just look at that. And there's a little bit of texture too on the resist spray. That all adds to the dimension of your background. Okay, so now I promised I was going to show you how to clean out your sprayer. So here's my container of water, and then you just simply put the end of the sprayer into the water, and then you'll press the nozzle until all of the resist spray is being released. Now this looks like a lot, but it's really not that much, and you may think it's wasteful, but it's better than clogging your nozzle. We do have replacement nozzles that you can get in case you just can't bring it back to life. But this is going to help you keep that nozzle clear and it won't clog. So I'm just actually wiping it off, but then I do want to keep the tip of the nozzle wet, so that's why I was dipping it back in there. And then I'll grab my bottle again, and I'll put the nozzle back into the bottle, and I'm just wiping off the bottle to get any water off and replacing the cap. And you want to make sure, don't dry off the top part of the sprayer. You want to keep that moisture in there so that it doesn't stick. So that's it. I hope you'll give this a try. I want to thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more creative inspiration. And if you want to try this technique, Check out the link in the description box below for everything we used today. Happy crafting, and we'll see you next time.